can find it anywhere. It's very interpretive, very interesting, has a deep and profound meaning. Hola todos, yo soy Samuel. Para los que no me conocen, estoy aprendiendo español. Alright, so here's the deal. Whether you're learning Spanish in a formal classroom setting or just in your own time online with friends and family, etc., there's always going to be seemingly common words and phrases that you never really come across in your academic journey. And so I hope that I can help out a little bit. I'm going to teach you guys some basic words and phrases that you might not learn in the book, but could come in handy later on down the road. So in English we have a phrase, DIY, do it yourself, and word for word in Spanish that kind of turns into a command, but they do actually have a word that summarizes that phrase. It's bricolaje. Bricolaje. It's like, este proyecto es bricolaje. Just like a fresh coat of paint, be good as new. Now, another example of a word that you don't learn in a textbook, but you probably should, is autónomo. Autónomo, or the feminine variant, autónoma. Él es autónomo. He is self-employed. If you get any value out of this video, if you learn a new word or a couple phrases, be sure to leave a like and go ahead and subscribe because I post a new video every Saturday. So one of the most difficult parts of learning Spanish, in my opinion, is that each country, and sometimes each region within each country, will have their own word or words to describe the same thing. And that can be really tricky as an English speaker because, like, here's an example. So, at least in standard American English, we call this place Taco Bell. And now I can't speak for all Spanish-speaking countries, but at least some of my friends from Mexico, instead of calling it Taco Bell, they'll call it una desgracia total. I really don't know what that means, like, literally.
Total disgrace.
But I'm sure just based off of context, I think it just kind of means like authentic. Well, I love good Mexican food, you know? Like real, authentic Mexican food. All right, and guys, we have another one right here. En español dicen arte moderno. Arte moderno, you can find it anywhere. It's very interpretive, very interesting, has a deep and profound meaning. So one thing that's really tricky about Spanish is the word vehicle. More than just vehiculo, there's also caro, coche, y auto, and it's hard to keep them all straight, and it kind of depends on where you're going. But there's also another one that's very common that I never learned, you know, online or otherwise, and I found a good example here. Automóvil clásico. Mira que cool. Clásico. Used in a sentence, you can say, este carro es un automóvil clásico. How about time for a quick little verb lesson? You know, early on learning Spanish, you learn how the AR, ER, and IR verbs change. There's lots of different conjugations and they can be annoying. But one of the most common ones that you don't learn till later, and I don't see why not, you might as well learn them sooner than later, is the ando or yendo. That can be used like bailar, for example. Yo bailo, tú bailas. But if you want to say, I am dancing, it's estoy bailando, estás bailando. Or to talk about he, she, or it would be like el armadillo está durmiendo. All right, how about a quick little change of plans here. Speed fire round. You ready? El carro se rompió. Car's broken. Pero tenemos el salvador del día. Y él está listo. El cinturón viejo, el cinturón nuevo. If you have a mechanical crew handy, in Spanish they use the word amigos. Amigos. So when you're driving along and your power steering goes out at the same time as a bunch of lights on your dashboard come on, there's a few choice phrases that you can use in Spanish to kind of cope with the situation. My favorite is probably "Hola." But a comparable choice might also be. It's kind of a regional thing. There's lots of ways to handle this situation, but as long as it ends with an exclamation point, you're going to be fine. So while you're learning Spanish, you're going to run into lots of false cognates. Those are words that sound like an English word, but they have nothing to do with it. Case in point, this example, the word éxito, accent mark on that E, means success. And in this case, smashing success. Took 2 to 3 hours, but you know, who's counting? Look at that. It's like I know what I'm doing.